Dear viewers, today we're very happy to welcome in our studio a good compatriot, a good friend of the program. His name is Peter Stamison, and he's a special person because he's been appointed by our president, President Bush, to an important position. I know only of 2 or 3 Americans of Greek descent appointed, the former director of CIA, George Tenet, the ambassador to Spain, George Argyros, and Peter Stamison, or Stamatopoulos, who is the regional administrator for the U.S. General Services. Peter Panagiotis, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, Dimitri. It's good to see you again.
A pleasure. Tell us a little bit about your Greek roots, about your Greek background.
Well, my grandfather came to this country in late 1800s, and he came from the Peloponnese Tripolis, and I think its village was Palantion. And my yaya, both on my father's side, came from Rhesus, little village.
Also in Peloponnesus?
Yes, right. And we grew up in the Chicago area. My mother was of Latvian descent, and they met and married in Chicago, and my brother and I grew up in Chicago, and my mother changed for my father and became Greek Orthodox. I was baptized in the Greek Orthodox Church, and although we didn't speak it in the household, my mother made sure that we went to Greek school, and I've been told that by the age of 8 I could read, write, and speak Greek. But my Greek roots have disappeared with all the moves and all the careers I've been involved in.
Well, you're still speaking some decent Greek. I spoke with you.
When ligaiki.
Yes.
So, when people say, "How's your Greek?" I say, somewhere between ligaiki and midem. But I try. And they say if I spent 6 months in Greece, I've worked on some projects in Greece before, that it would come back, and that would be great. But I find being here in Northern California, I've been reintroduced to my Greek roots mainly through family here and Senator Petrus, who I worked with when I was the head of General Services, the Department of General Services for the state of California.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about that first?
Okay, I'm a private sector person. I grew up in the private sector. I worked for 2 Fortune 500 companies, and I had a couple of startup companies in telecommunications at the breakup of the Bell system. I worked for a construction and engineering firm in the private sector. But soon after I was putting together another company, I was approached by a executive search firm and recruited by the governor of the state of California, Governor Wilson, to run the Department of General Service for the state of California. At first, I told them that they were calling the wrong man because I'm a private sector guy and I've not worked for the government. But it was thought by the governor at the time that you needed a business executive with my experience and track record to run what is, in essence, the business manager for the state of California, to be that. And I had always been a critic of government ever since I got my first paycheck. Government to me has been the difference between net and gross on your paycheck, and I felt that as a business executive, having worked on the other side with government people, that you could run a major bureaucracy with ethical business disciplines and principles, which I found to be the case in California. And we did some amazing things during my tenure in Governor Wilson's last administration. And that reputation came to the attention of the president and the White House soon after the election. And one thing led to another, and I was called soon after 9/11 and asked if I would be interested in taking the job as a regional administrator for the Pacific Rim region, which is the largest geographic region of the 11 regions within the country of GSA.
Can you explain to us a little bit, sorry to interrupt you, the
right.
scope of the work? What is U.S. General Administration, and what is the scope of your particular job here?
General Services is I like to say, the largest sales, marketing, and administrative organization of its kind in the world. If we were a Fortune 500 company with influencing over $66 billion, we would be somewhere in the top 10 or top 15 of the Fortune 500 list. This is one of the largest regions in that regard, and we service California, Arizona, Nevada, Hawaii, Japan, Guam, Saipan, and South Korea. So we do have the largest piece of geography of all the regions. We have three basic services. Public building services, which looks after the buildings and lease space that house federal employees. Federal technology service that offers telephony and information technology to our federal customers. And federal supply service, which will supply bullets to toilet paper, to chairs, to furniture, anything that our federal customers, such as Social Security or Health or Human Services, would buy. So our job as General Services is to provide housing for federal employees around the world, other than military, and supplies and technology to make their job easier. And GSA was formed in 1949 to use the tremendous buying power of the federal government to leverage the best deals for our federal customers and for the taxpayers. So GSA plays a very important role.
And from what you mentioned, the budget must be enormous for what you're doing.
It's a $500 million budget. Absolutely, yes. We have quite an inventory here. We'd be somewhere around 35 on the Fortune. I'm sorry, we'd be around 302 on the Fortune 500 list. This region alone, based on the dollars that we influence.
So
it's a big job. It's a big job, and it's a great job, and particularly at this time of war when we can serve our country. It's been a tremendous experience. It's, again, growing up in the private sector, I had a lot of interesting, wonderful jobs around the world, but there is an addition, with the importance of this job, there's the additional feeling that when you're serving the country and you have some very spirited, talented civil servants working with you, there are tremendous things you can accomplish in GS.
Positive experience working in the government sector.
Absolutely,
basically.
absolutely.
Well, that gives me the opportunity to ask you a question about all the young people, the viewers that are seeing this interview today, and people who have an interest in working in the government sector. So would you give us a little feedback on that? Would you encourage those young people to
I would definitely encourage the young people and the talented people that want to look into career opportunities that hadn't thought of the federal government before. We have outstanding benefit packages and what have you, but more importantly, for the people in this region, in Northern California, that have an aptitude and an excitement about them, the Silicon Valley and all the things that happen in Northern California, to consider federal government opportunities as well as those within GSA, because you can do some exciting things here. In fact, one of our mottos is, we can do that for you. So when our customers, the federal customers, come to us, we find ways to make their jobs easier by offering them the goods and services and housing that they need. And those jobs mean we have architects, we have engineers, we have technologists, we have salespeople. We have the full gamut of running an operation of significant size. Now, an interesting statistic to consider is that I've been told that 50% of the entire federal workforce of about 1.8 million people, not counting the military, are eligible for retirement in the next 5 years. Now, that's a significant hit, but what that says to a young person that wants to consider some tremendous career opportunities with a great deal of zeal and talent is you can get into an organization that's going to have to refresh themselves for the life of the organization very soon. And there is, as people move out, there's a tremendous opportunity to move up if you're willing to work hard and talented. And I must say, I was skeptical first coming in, my first job in public service, what it would be like. I knew you could run a bureaucracy with ethical business disciplines and principles, but I didn't know how the public servant, because I was an appointee, would respond to me. And I was absolutely delighted, not only in California, but also here in the federal system, to see how well they respond to positive leadership, sitting down, setting your goals and objectives, and then working hard together to make things happen for our customers. So that's an exciting thing. Another thing to consider is at the senior executive service level throughout the federal government. And I'm talking the federal government right now, not just the GSA. The senior executive service is the top management of the federal government, and by laws in Congress is set at a specific level of 7,600 people right now. It's a percentage of the total workforce. These jobs are the top level jobs in the agencies, the SESs as we call them. 70% of the SES levels, 70%. Are ready for retirement in the next 5 to 7 years. So you're talking about a tremendous need for talent. And the way the federal government operates, the federal government does more, in my experience working for 2 Fortune 500 companies, my own companies, as well as a smaller mid-level company. The federal government does more to look at people, to hire them in for the right job at the right time, getting the right person, and then training those people into the job and helping them grow through the organization. And that's one thing to consider. I haven't seen that in all the experiences that I had before. Our training and our educational skills and programs are second to none in my experience.
Great opportunities.
Great opportunities. Great opportunities. And I can speak specifically for GSA. GSA is the closest thing to a real private sector business that you ever see. We're not appropriated. We only earn our keep by the small fee that we charge for offering the goods and services. So we just take a little bit off the top and pass on all those savings to our customers. But that's our role. That's our role. We're only appropriated by Congress in a very small amount. But go ahead, excuse me.
Well, I was going to say that this is a good opportunity for all the young viewers to make a note and ask for specific information. And if anybody wish to get a little more information, they can contact our program, and then we can always relay the information to you.
Most positions don't require a written test. The process is similar to that in the private industry, and there are differences due to the laws, executive orders, and regulations that govern federal employment. We do our best to make it easier to get into the door than we've ever done before to apply for a job within GSA. But once you're in that door on that level playing field, the competition is tough. And we have various rules and regulations. Some people need top secret clearance or secret clearance, but those are usually at the higher level jobs. Civil service laws, people as federal employees are protected by those by Congress to ensure that applicants and employees receive fair and equal treatment in the hiring process throughout. And a basic principle of federal employment for all agencies, including GSA, is that candidates must meet the qualification requirements before they are hired into the position. So you've got to have the tickets and the requirements to get into that job. And once you do, then the career is up to you. The system affords job seekers the same access to job and employment information as the website. Now, for those that are in the Northern California area or the Bay Area, We have within GSA, I'll put in a little plug for GSA if you don't mind, our own human resources division that hires and helps us hire for our 3 services, PBS, FSS, and FTS. They hire capable people for that job. And that direct, I hope I've given you some feel that that the federal career path can be an exciting career path. That we have a very results-oriented administration, and people that come on board can make a difference. They're allowed to make a difference, and that we have some exciting opportunities down the road within GSA, and we're always looking for talented people in this organization.
Wonderful. We appreciate it. You gave us a wealth of information here, and thank you very much for joining us, and we'll be able to get together again pretty soon, I hope.
Dimitri, I look forward to it.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
very much.